and namaste everyone. My name is Pooja Kamat Sabnis and I welcome you on behalf of the IC network today. This is the very first episode of our series of interviews with all the candidates that are running for a public school board trustee or city council. Going forward, we are inviting all those candidates who are running for either of the office to reach out to us if you're interested in doing an interview with us, sharing your thoughts to the viewers, and just being more involved in the community. We'll be really, really happy to have a brief chat with you so that your voice is reached to your community, to your viewers, and they all know what you're doing. So today we have a very special guest with us and we'd like to welcome him. His name is Mr. Chowdhury. He is running for the public board, a public school board trustee, Ward 5 and Ward 10. He is kind enough to join us to answer some really interesting questions about why he wants to, why he's opted for this role, what are his plans, the challenges that, currently students, parents, teachers are facing in his specifically in his ward and perhaps, generally in other wards as well. He comes with a lot of experience, a great background in this particular role. And we will dive straight into hearing more from him, about him, and the kind of work that he plans to do. So welcome, Jay. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Ms. Kamat. What a privilege for me to be at the ISC network this evening.
Oh, that's great. That's great. We are really happy to have you over. And I'm sure viewers are interested in listening to all the information that you have because, everything is practical, everything is real. And I'm sure, once you get on board, a lot of things will be implementable as well. So let's just get straight to the questions. So I think before we get into the role per se, we'd just like to know a little bit more about you, your background, what is it that you've done so that, our viewers get to know you. So Please go ahead.
My name is Chowdhury and I'm married for past 20 years. I have 3 kids, definitely students still.
Right.
And I also claim myself as a student because I'm still studying. So I have been here in my Ward 5 and Ward 10. I live in Ward 10 for past 17 years.
Right.
My kids have been to school. I have completed, of course, my graduation is on a major in economics. And I came to Canada. I completed here certified studies on nonprofit management with them at Mount Royal University. I'm almost about to complete my native studies with University of Alberta, and I have enrolled as my master's in leadership. So I still claim myself as.
Right. Okay, so that was a quick, humble background about Jay, but there's more to come. So before we dive more into specific questions around the role per se, I think we'd like to educate our viewers on what exactly is the role of a public school board trustee. So what exactly do they have to do?
Right. Public school trustee, if you want to really get into the jargons, to explain very technical with this technicality, it is they're a trustee, a public school trustee who have a fiduciary duty to act honestly in good faith and on behalf of the electors, which is the people who will elect us,
right?
That makes decision on and about the board operation. Now, the trustees represent the board and communicate that with the public at school and board events and in meetings with school council, parents, and members of public. It also create, fulfill the gaps between the government of Alberta, the trustee, as well as with the parents, students, principals, teachers. So it bridges, binding the bridge, it binds the bridge between two,
Right. So currently, as we understood, the role basically involves being a center point of a lot of different kinds of stakeholders, primarily the student, teachers, parents, as well as the authority figures of Alberta. So we'd like to know if in this role, would you have any, what are your expectations, especially with regards to education?
Right. I'm actually, my platform is running on 4 different pillars.
Okay.
The first pillar is funding. I'll explain quickly about funding. Why we send our kids to school. There's hardly any school fees we have to pay, not like what back home we do. And things we feel is very, kind of jolly good show, but there is so much is yet to happen. And, that is our own kids and the kids of others will also become the victim of that. Funding is one of the pillar. Curriculum is also, school curriculum is one of the pillars that I'm working on or fighting for. Then the classroom conditions, we are on what 5 and 10. What 10 is completely different than what 5. Both are in Calgary Northeast, very different from other quadrants of Calgary city, of Calgary.
Right.
Our needs are different. Our resources that we lack is different. People we have in the Northeast, technically all the people who come from other countries, the land, many of them here in Northeast use this as a breeding ground. And then from here, they kind of disseminate themselves in other parts of the cities and countries. Right. So the need is also very big. Other than that, my other platform is also student safety, respect for diversity.
Right.
That's one of the pillars out of 4 pillars that I'm running for.
Right. So just to summarize, the 4 pillars you said was funding, curriculum, diversity, and what was the 4th one?
The classroom conditions.
Classroom conditions, right. So these are the 4 pillars that that is expected of the role, or is something that is more unique to you that you're going to be working on?
Well, I have created my platform not by doing a Google search. I've created my platform by actually studying, understanding, meeting, talking with students.
Right.
And you will see my Facebook page will also, will share the voice of the student.
Right.
It's not academic research paper that I came out with. It is a student who have faced difficulties. They have actually came out with that. And
right.
That's why I put it as my 4 pillars. And I'm working on those 4 pillars, taking that as a platform that I'm running.
Right. So as a public school board trustee, are you expected to be involved in any kind of policy making?
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
There are some policies that we make, some policies we don't do. A majority of the policies are made by the Ministry of Education, Government of Alberta.
Right.
But we are also, trustees are also policymakers.
Right.
I'll tell you exactly what kind of policymakers we are. We craft policies that guide the administration and other employees toward achieving the jurisdiction's goal. So what is the jurisdiction is what 5 and 10, as well as, in your own jurisdiction. So right. we really don't make those policies. Those are made by the Minister of Education.
Correct.
Many times we don't even have voice on the policy. Like, for example, curriculum. We don't have much voice there, but what we can do, we can hear the voice of the teacher, the students, the parents, and we take that forward to the government of Alberta if when needed.
Right. So I think one very interesting thing you mentioned was that you've not based your philosophies, based on Google search. It's largely been through your experience, through your interactions. So let's just take a step back and understand why exactly are you even interested in this role? What motivates you to even run for this particular position?
Right. I've been into social work and international development, working exclusively with children and young people. That's very close to my heart. I have worked in different parameters in different areas and different platforms, different issues of young people and students.
Right.
But because the young people and students are so close, and I have faced myself as a parent, many difficulties of my children, I've seen that, whether it's being in a school board, meeting parents, talking to them, and also in practical life, some of the things that I've seen, I just felt that, I should stand up for those and become the voice of the parents, the teachers, the principal, and the students. Students definitely first. And that's why I just chose this path. And because also this is not have any aligned movement with any political parties or colors.
Right.
That is why I was more interested in this, that I will work for children. That's the bottom line, to make a better citizen of tomorrow.
Oh, that's really, really amazing. And these are the kind of leaders that we need, who are focused and who consider students' welfare to be so important, because finally, they are the next generation, and a lot depends on the kind of students that a province or a country churns out. right? So you did mention about the 4 pillars, and you also said that a lot of this is based on your own experiences. But to be specific, just getting more pinpointed then, if you get elected, do you have any plans, any specific plans for, improving public school education? Are there any programs that you plan on running in particular?
Right. I'll tell you some specific case.
Right.
As you know that, roughly the budget for per student per school is about anywhere between 6,500 to 7,000. That includes, of course, everything.
Right.
Now, the budget, the way it creates that every school will say, okay, I'm going to take 30 students per classroom, 40 students plus classroom, and the budget will come multiplied by number of students, the money is to come. Right now, what they are using, they are calling it WMA. And what is WMA? WMA is weighted moving average. What is the weighted moving average? So let's say 2019, 2020, 2021.
Right.
You're creating a budget of 2022.
Sure.
So what they're doing is in 2020, you can say that you have 20 students, right? And then you added in 2020. From 20, you added another, let's say, 30 students, right? And then out of 30 students, you saw that, of course, in Canada now, a lot of new Canadians are coming here to Calgary. And so what you want to do is you want to move from 20 plus 50, which is 70. And then you want to move it for another 30 students. So total is how much? 20, you move next year to 50 students, 50 become how much? Add another 50, let's say, for example.
Right.
100 students, for example.
Sure.
Right? Because you have doubled up the student. And you can play with these numbers. What you can say is 50 and they go 30. That's the best example. So the first year was 50 students, and then you move to 30, which is 80, and then you add another 20 in the coming year. So you have 100 student plus classroom, let's for example. Use that as a hypothetical example. So now what you do, you use that 100 and you divide by 3, right, to bring a median. And what is your median? Your median is 33.50 multiplied the number of funding that is coming.
Right.
Now you have to remember when you make that 33.33, right, and then multiply by the numbers, then you will see that there is how much out of 50 students, what is missing part there? 33.33 minus 50. So there is a 16 point some percent which is missing, right?
Right.
Now we don't really feel the crunch, the bite at the moment, but how will we get that when we use this weighted moving average, right? Who is going to pay that 16.66% or the missing percent that is there? So that's why, funding is very important. For us, we feel right now everything is going in a jolly good show. But what's important in the funding is that part I really need to work out with hard negotiation,
right,
that we are changing, we are adding, we are bringing more people to Canada.
Right.
The classroom is a classroom, the benches are benches, the doors are doors, the windows are windows.
Right.
It's just the number of students are growing. How do we do that? Resources. Resources is very important. The need of resources is different from other parts of the city.
Correct.
Different language, multiple language, very pluralistic, very many people, kind of people. Many of them come from, war-torn zone. Many of them come from a country where English is not the first language. So when they come, we need more resources to work on these children.
Right.
We cannot dump a person, who have never ever have studied in English,
right,
and put him in grade 8 or grade 9 and just give him bunches of, papers and books and
assignments. Yeah.
It's like me going to Japan and putting me in a grade 8 and telling me all in reading in Japanese. That's the way, do as the Roman does kind of thing, right? So you need more resources in that area. That's one of the area that I will be working on. Classroom conditions, of course, the number of students. Other parts of the city is different from our world, sometimes, lunch is better. Teachers who actually come here and substitute there. I got an email actually saying that I was helping out a school in Southwest. I got more money when I came to the same job in Northeast. I get less money. So, priority is not never for Ward 5 and Ward 10. And there are a lot of schools in our ward, which is old, right? And because it's old, it's need a lot of reconstruction, and a lot of work that we need to do.
Right. So that is pretty, what do you say? specific to the these challenges. A few challenges that you mentioned are resources oriented, or diversity oriented, or language barrier oriented. So these are the three core challenges that you mentioned. So just from your experience, just all across different wards, and specifically for Ward 5 and Ward 10, from your interactions with students and parents, are there any other challenges that you know of that they're facing?
Right, Ms. Kamath, I can use a lot of flowery words and a lot of jargons here, but I want to keep it very simple. Simple as such, that we are parents-teacher meeting many a times. We come from a culture which is shy culture. We know English, but we really don't want to talk to the teachers, thinking our grammars, there are grammatical errors, the coining of word is not right, and things like that, right? But what is very important, that there is a bridge that needs to be built, breaking the barriers of how we can actually include and be inclusive with those parents who want to talk, who does understand English, but we need to put a communication channel where they can bravely come and talk about their students. Talking about the students, if you see the students in grade 11, they have counselors to counsel. And this is what the students said, that they wanted to go to the university in understanding what is the right path to choose. And they didn't get a chance until they actually got out of the school. They're already in university, and at that point of time, they're getting a call about the resource person to help them to choose their career, to help them in the career. But what is important there is that we need more resources there in those kind of things. Think about school. What happened those big gyms after 3 o'clock? They shut down. There's no after school much program. The whole community can use that gym, and that will be an extra source of income for the school to regenerate funds. And if there is any big hole there, in funding, they can use that money as a local source of income. And we need to use those places, the grounds. Of course, our country is sometimes 10 months winter, 2 months summer. But, if it is the 10 months winter or 6 months winter, we don't play, like soccer or football or any kind of game outside. We all want to be inside. And to be inside, we need more space. The school needs to be open up. Talking about our school board office, the whole headquarters, it is, I think, on its way to renewal. Can we find a place to save some money and use those money in a place where it is most needed? So these are the things, may sound very petty, but it is very important that we use, those challenges as an opportunity and make, at the end of the day, it is student, student, student. That's whatever we do for a student. You and I do not have student in school and we say, why we should vote for Jay? My kids are all grown up. They're in university or they're all married. What is important? If you are a true Canadian, you believe building this country, you vote for a person that you think is the best. And you build the country by voting that person, because that person, with its merit, his merit, her merit, or his qualification or her qualification, will help building, with your help, for a best place and a better place for our children for tomorrow.
Correct. And of course, none of these things are petty. That's one of the things that you mentioned once. When you are a student, when you're living that life, when you see your children living that life, and there are concerns, every little challenge is like really personal and big. So definitely it's not petty. And if somebody is passionate about working towards it and wanting to bring about a change for the better, I'm sure it's the greatest thing, the greatest source of happiness, I believe, for a person that's going through it on an everyday basis. So I think all the things that you've mentioned are pretty great, and we look forward to seeing these changes happen. So just a couple of concluding questions then. You've mentioned that you're still studying and you're doing something in leadership, and you also have a vast amount of experience in social service beyond other things. Would you want to tell our viewers a little bit more about the leadership roles that you've done in the past?
Some of the leadership role, I have worked as an international development worker for almost close to 19 years.
Oh, wow.
And in Canada, I worked with young people in difficult circumstances, including children. Mental health is a big issue. Many students that goes to school, as you know, in Calgary, Northeast, someone was bullied and took her life away, So I worked with, those kind of people. I bring, first-hand knowledge and experience, not from my paid job, but I worked as a volunteer, many people know that because of my volunteerism, which is not paid, I bagged the Stars of Alberta Award for 2020 from the government of Alberta. And with all my knowledge, that I have, and I believe that I have worked very closely with both government and non-government policymakers, and stakeholders. And I have those experience with government all across the floor. Doesn't matter what party it is. As a former media person, I have built my rapport and relationship with them. And it is very important, as I said, that as a trustee, we need to bridge the gap between the parents, students, teachers, principals, with the government of Alberta. So with all my knowledge and my connection and network, I believe it doesn't matter which color the party is today or tomorrow. I believe that I have that, knowledge to hard negotiate anything that is the best for the best interest of the children.
Oh, that's excellent. And I think that's the kind of leaders that we need, who actually try to bring some changes and make things happen. So that's great. Before we end this interview, would you like to tell our viewers, just a quick summary about, everything that you just said, but in a nutshell, if you get elected, what is it that's going to happen that's going to be different, and why should they elect you?
Right. It is very important to vote. I'm not going to tell you who should you vote. People say vote for me. I love to say vote for me, right? But we have to also understand that at the end of the day, it is your choice. You make a decision. I don't make a decision for you. So do your homework. Go to Google. See all kind of people that's running. See myself, what I have done, what I can do, my capabilities, my education, and as a negotiator, what I can do. But I can assure you, if I get elected, my promise will be kept. And what the first thing I want to do is to start a communication channel, a regular communication channel, not just a Facebook page where, hardly anybody visit, a town hall, meeting people, talking to them, bringing them in. Everybody have a freedom to speak. Nobody is, should be spared. You have a voice, you bring it. I don't know if I can fulfill all your promises, but some promises for sure that is most needed, Ward 5 and Ward 10, I will do. I encourage you to go ahead and vote on advanced polling, because it's so easy from coming Monday, which is 4th of October, until 10th of October. There's sometimes hardly anyone in the queue. The actual vote date is on Monday, 18th of October. So if you feel that you should go and vote only on voting day, please feel free to do so. I encourage you to get out and vote. That's what I want to say. Who you vote, that's in your hand. But I always say, do your homework, know the people. And, as a new Canadian, as an immigrant, coming to this country, I equally stand with the rest of the Canadians, and I have the equal capability to run, irrespective of who that is. And also, with your help, rest assured, I will win only if you vote for me. So thank you very much, Ms. Himmat, and also to ISC Network for giving me this paid opportunity tonight and to be here. And I'm sure the other candidates will also show up from time to time, and we'll share this unique, very inclusive, exclusive platform of 15,000 subscribers, members, followers, know us a little better. Thank you very much, and good night.
Excellent. So that was Jay Chowdhury for you, who is once again, we repeat, he's running for public school board trustee, and has some really interesting plans, has a lot of experience working with, working on the ground level with students, communicating with a lot of parents, teachers as well, and wants to actually bring about some changes with his 4 pillars that, that the philosophy that he's created, which can actually show some marked improvement. You can also follow him on his social media handles. So Jay, if you move a little bit on your left, if you can just move a little bit on your left. So if you see in the background, we will also put this, in the below the video, so you'll be able to see this better. But there you go. There's a Facebook handle which says Jay for School Trustee. You can follow him there. He has a Twitter handle as well, which says Jay for Trustee again. So very easy to just go on social media, follow the work that he's doing. There's a website called www.ourstudent studentsourfuture.ca. You can follow him there, ask him questions, and he'll definitely be as responsive as possible, so you get answers to the challenges that you're facing or any other queries that you have. So thank you once again, Jay, for being a part of this interview. We are very excited for you, and thank you for showcasing a range of the things that you plan on doing once you get elected. So good luck to you, and good night. Once again, thanks for being a part of this particular channel. As for all the other candidates, like we started this interview with, if you would like to share the kind of things that you are doing and give information to our viewers, please feel free to connect with us. If you're running as a candidate either for public school board trustee or for city council, we would be really happy to have a chat with you for you to showcase your range of things to our viewers and of course communicate better to the community. So with that, good night, everyone. Thank you for watching us, and please.
Do you know the area of your house decides the school your child will go to? Do you know how to check the quality of a home? Will banks give you a mortgage? For all the answers, sign up with the Home Buyer Awareness Program and meet a school area specialist, a home quality inspector, and a financial advisor. Don't wait. Sign up with the Home Buyer Awareness Program in the link below or contact Raj Bopla at RE/MAX Central today.